a silence falls over Heartland Ranch, one that carries both sorrow and hope. For years, fans have carried the weight of Ty Borden's absence, a hole in the heart of Amy's life and the family story. But now, season 19 opens with something that no one dared to expect: Ty's return. A moment that feels too good to be true. A miracle wrapped in fear, love, and the haunting question: what happens when the man you thought was gone forever suddenly stands before you again? Heartland season 19 does not rush into Ty's comeback as a simple twist. Instead, it begins with a quiet storm of emotions, building tension through subtle details and layers of memory. Amy Fleming, the woman whose strength has carried the family through heartbreak, finds herself at a crossroads. She has lived with the weight of loss, raising her daughter Lindy with both courage and hidden sorrow. Every moment in the early part of the episode reflects Amy's journey. The way she looks at old photographs, the conversations she shares with Jack that carry more silence than words, and the innocence of Lindy's questions about the father she never truly knew. It is here that the groundwork of Ty's return is laid. The show doesn't simply tell us he's back. It makes us feel the gravity of what his presence means. The writers weave in the themes that have always defined Heartland: healing, love, and the unbreakable threads of family. Fans are reminded that this is not just another chapter. It is the collision of past grief and present hope, where every heartbeat feels louder, every glance heavier, and every word charged with meaning. For Amy, the stage is set long before Ty appears. Her days on the ranch are painted with a quiet sense of longing. She has learned to survive without him, but survival is not the same as living. The camera of storytelling lingers on her stillness, on the way she seems both strong and fragile at once. When she speaks with Lindy, the tenderness in her voice carries the echo of the man she once loved. And when Lindy innocently asks why she doesn't remember her father, Amy's silence is more powerful than any explanation. These are not just casual moments. They are the building blocks of an emotional storm that Heartland has been preparing its fans to face. The turning point comes with a shift in energy, a subtle sense that the air has changed. Amy begins to dream, or perhaps remember, scenes with Ty. At first, they feel like memories bleeding through, soft and distant. But as the story deepens, the line between memory and reality blurs. Suddenly, what feels like a recollection transforms into something tangible. He is there. Ty Borden. The man whose absence shaped an entire family now stands alive in the present. Amy's reaction is not immediate joy. It is shock. It is disbelief. For a heartbeat, she is frozen, her mind unable to accept what her eyes are telling her. Fans watching this moment know that they are witnessing something beyond ordinary television. It is the culmination of years of heartbreak, prayers, and unanswered questions. The silence that follows is filled with emotions too raw for words. Tears threaten to fall, but Amy holds them back as though afraid that if she blinks, he will vanish again. The episode gives her space to process, and in doing so, it gives the audience space to breathe. We see the weight of the years pressing down on her. The love she lost, the nights she cried alone, the strength she had to find for Lindy. All of it collides with the impossible miracles standing in front of her. For Amy, Ty is not just her husband. He was her partner, her safe place, her soulmate. Losing him meant losing half of herself. And now, with his return, she must face the terrifying question: can she open her heart again without the fear of breaking all over? But Amy is not the only one who feels the impact. The story branches into the family, each character carrying their own storm of emotions. Jack Bartlett, the anchor of Heartland, has always been the voice of wisdom. His love for Ty ran deeper than words, though he rarely spoke of it. Ty was like another grandson, a boy he had watched grow into a man, into a father, into part of the ranch's soul. When Ty left, Jack's grief was silent but heavy. And now, with Ty standing before him, Jack does not leap forward or speak in dramatic declarations. He lets his eyes tell the story. The relief, the gratitude, the miracle of a second chance. When Jack finally speaks, his words are simple but profound. Life is fragile, but it also has the power to surprise us with blessings we never thought we'd see again. Jack's quiet reaction anchors the storm, but others in the family are not so steady. Tim Fleming, with his gruff exterior, reacts in his own way. His emotions are complicated, almost hidden under layers of pride and skepticism. This is his daughter's husband, the father of his granddaughter, and someone who had earned Tim's respect over the years. Yet Tim cannot fully mask the fear and doubt swirling inside him. He questions the reality, hesitates to believe, but deep down his heart is shaken. His eyes betray him. Beneath the roughness lies a father who is quietly grateful, though he struggles to admit it aloud. And then there's Lindy. Her reaction is not built on years of memory or layered with grief. For her, it is pure innocence. She looks at Ty, her small heart somehow recognizing the man who is missing from her life. She does not hesitate. Her first word cuts through the air like lightning. Daddy. In that single word, all the longing of her young life is revealed. She does not question. She does not doubt. She runs to him, and in that embrace, the weight of years seems to vanish. For viewers, this is the most heartbreaking and beautiful moment. The innocence of a child delivers the most powerful truth, that love needs no explanation. This first section of the episode is a masterclass in emotional storytelling. Every character reacts in a way that feels true to who they are, yet every reaction is tied together by the same thread. Ty's return is not just about one man. It is about a family learning to breathe again, about fans rediscovering hope, and about the reminder that even in the darkest grief, miracles can still find their way home. If the first moments of Ty's return shook the foundation of Heartland, the ripples that follow begin to expose every hidden fear, every fragile hope, and every unspoken truth within the family. For Amy, the initial shock of seeing Ty again is only the beginning. What comes after is a storm that no one, not even she, could have prepared for. Amy has always been the emotional center of Heartland. Her strength lies not in never breaking, but in finding a way to heal even when shattered. And now, in the wake of Ty's return, all of her carefully built walls start to tremble. The woman who once learned to live without him suddenly finds herself asking questions she thought had no answers. Was the grief she carried for years wasted? How do you reconcile the pain of the past with the gift of the present? And most haunting of all, what if this miracle is only temporary? In the quiet of the ranch, Amy's emotions spill over in ways she cannot fully control. There are moments when she reaches for Ty as though afraid he might fade away. Other times, she pulls back, her fear of heartbreak stronger than her hope. Fans watching this inner conflict are pulled into the same tension, wanting to celebrate, but holding their breath in fear that something might take him away again. This is the brilliance of the story. It does not give easy answers. It gives us raw truth that Amy's tears are not just of joy. They are also of fear, of memories that hurt too much, of nights spent alone wishing for something that seemed impossible. In a trembling voice, she admits to Ty how she struggled to raise Lindy, how she tried to be strong but often felt broken. Her words cut deep because they reflect the pain of every person who has ever lost someone they loved. But it is in Ty's presence, in the way he listens with a steady gaze and trembling hands, that Amy finds the courage to release years of grief she never spoke aloud. While Amy wrestles with her heart, Lou Fleming reacts in a different way. Lou has always been the practical one, the sister who carries the weight of responsibility. For her, Ty's return is a miracle, but also a threat. She knows her sister's heart, knows the deep wounds that losing Ty left behind. And now, the thought of Amy opening herself up again only to risk losing him once more gnaws at Lou's soul. Lou tries to mask her fear with logic. She asks questions that others avoid. How is this possible? What does it mean for their future? And how will Amy protect herself if things fall apart again? Her concern is rooted in love, but it comes across as cautious doubt. In her eyes, she sees both the joy of having Ty back and the risk of letting Amy's happiness depend on him again. She wants to believe, she truly does, But she also cannot silence the voice inside her that warns against trusting too quickly. The tension between Lou's practicality and Amy's fragile hope creates one of the most gripping dynamics of the episode. In one moment, Lou hugs Ty tightly, relief flooding her eyes. In the next, she pulls Amy aside, warning her to be careful. It is not that she doesn't love Ty, it is that she loves Amy too much to watch her break again. Fans will feel this conflict deeply because it mirrors the duality of their own emotions: joy and fear, faith and doubt, love and protection. And then there is Georgie. Unlike Lou, Georgie approaches Ty's return with a calm maturity that surprises even herself. Once the rebellious girl who struggled to find her place in the world, Georgie has grown into a young woman shaped by resilience. Her bond with Ty was always special. He was not just Amy's husband to her. He was a mentor, someone who believed in her when she struggled to believe in herself. His return stirs a deep well of gratitude, but also perspective. Georgie does not rush forward with unrestrained emotion, nor does she hesitate with fear. Instead, she acknowledges Ty's return as both a gift and a reminder. She speaks with a wisdom beyond her years, telling Amy and Lindy that second chances are rare and precious, and that the pain of the past cannot erase the hope of the present. Her words carry weight because they come from a place of lived truth. She knows what it means to lose, to struggle, to fight for belonging. And she also knows the power of letting love in, even when it hurts. And this way, Georgie becomes a stabilizing force in the family storm. She bridges the gap between Lou's fear and Amy's fragile hope, reminding them that life cannot be lived by guarding against loss. It must be embraced, moment by moment, miracle by miracle. Her reaction is not as dramatic as Lindy's innocence or Amy's tears, but it is just as powerful. It shows the growth of a girl who has become part of the heart of Heartland, carrying the legacy of resilience that defines the show. The second section of the story is not about grand gestures or explosive revelations. It is about the emotional aftershocks, the way each character processes Ty's return in their own unique way. For Amy, it is the terrifying beauty of having her heart open again. For Lou, it is the struggle between joy and caution. For Georgie, it is the strength to see the bigger picture and remind the family of the gift they've been given. As these emotions unfold, the ranch itself seems to breathe differently. What was once heavy with absence is now alive with possibility. The family gathers, still in awe, still cautious, but undeniably pulled together by a force greater than their fear: love. And in every silence, every glance, and every whispered word, the truth grows clearer. Ty's return is not just about rewriting the past. It is about giving the family and the fans the chance to believe again in something greater than loss. Every storm eventually finds its calm, and in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, that calm arrives not in the form of answers, but in the intimacy of a private moment between Amy and Ty. After the whirlwind of emotions, the hugs, the tears, the disbelief, and the cautious joy of the family, there comes a time when the noise fades away. It is in this silence, in the stillness of two souls standing face to face, that the true heart of the story is revealed. Amy and Ty retreat from the crowd, seeking a quiet place where only they exist. The air between them is thick with years of unspoken words. For Amy, every second feels like balancing on a knife's edge. She wants to hold him, to never let go, but the fear of losing him again clings to her like a shadow. For Ty, the weight of the years lost presses down on him, but what shines brighter is the love that never died. The conversation begins hesitantly. Amy's voice trembles as she confesses what it was like to live without him. She speaks of nights when Lindy cried for a father she couldn't remember, of mornings when she forced herself to smile for her daughter while carrying an ache that never healed. Her words spill out like a dam finally breaking, years of grief rushing forward. She tells him she tried to be strong, but in truth, she often felt broken, incomplete, and haunted by the thought that life had stolen her soulmate too soon. Ty listens, his eyes glistening, his silence filled with sorrow and devotion. When he finally speaks, his words carry the weight of regret. but also the power of love. He admits that not a day passed without him thinking of Amy and Lindy, that even in the darkest moments, it was their memory that kept him alive inside. He reaches for her hand, and the simple touch feels like a promise renewed, a reminder that no matter how much time was lost, the bond between them remains unbreakable. Their eyes meet, and in that gaze, entire chapters of their lives are exchanged without a single word. Amy admits her greatest fear, that she cannot survive losing him again. Ty, with a voice steady but filled with emotion, reassures her. He does not promise perfection. He does not pretend the past can be erased. Instead, he promises that their love is eternal, that no matter what lies ahead, they will face it together. It is not a fairy tale ending, but it is more powerful. It is real, raw, and filled with hope. This private conversation is more than just a reunion. It is healing. It is closure for years of pain, and a doorway into a future neither dared to imagine. For fans, it is the culmination of a journey that began with heartbreak and now blooms into the possibility of redemption. Meanwhile, the rest of the family processes the ripple effect of Ty's return. Jack, as always, grounds the moment with his wisdom. His words to the family remind them that life is fragile, but the greatest strength lies in embracing the love that remains. He sees Ty not as a ghost of the past, but as a living reminder of the resilience that binds Heartland together. His steady presence helps ease Lou's worries, reminding her that protecting Amy does not mean shielding her from love. It means standing by her as she chooses it again. Tim, though rough-edged as always, cannot hide the emotion that has been stirred within him. His walls begin to crack, showing glimpses of a father and grandfather who is grateful for the second chance life has handed them. His silent gestures, lingering glances, a hand on Amy's shoulder, or a rare moment of honesty, speak louder than words ever could, and Lindy, with her innocent joy, becomes the light that guides them all. For her, there is no fear, no hesitation. She runs to her father, her laughter filling the ranch with a sound that feels like home. Her innocence strips away the doubts of the adults, reminding them that love does not need explanations. It only needs acceptance. Georgie, too, steps forward as a voice of balance and perspective. She reminds Amy and Lou that this return is not just a gift, but an opportunity. It is a chance to embrace the love that defines Heartland, to move forward not with fear, but with gratitude. Her maturity proves that she has carried the lessons of the past into her future, and now she passes them on to the family that raised her. As the episode draws to a close, the ranch feels alive in a way it hasn't for years. The silence that once carried sorrow now carries hope. The air that once felt heavy now feels filled with possibility. Ty's return is not just the return of one man. It is the rebirth of love, family, and belief in miracles. But the story does not end here. The closing moments leave the audience with a haunting sense of suspense. Amy and Ty stand side by side, their hands entwined, their hearts uncertain but united. The family gathers around them, tentative smiles breaking through tears. And yet, lingering in the air is the unspoken question: what comes next? Heartland has never been about easy answers. It is about the messy, beautiful truth of family. Ty's return promises joy, but it also carries challenges, questions about the future, about healing old wounds, about the strength to move forward together. The episode ends not with finality, but with possibility. A cliffhanger of emotion that leaves fans desperate for more. Because at its core, Heartland has always been about love that survives the unthinkable. And now, with Ty Borden's return, that love burns brighter than ever.